Today's episode is brought to you by Tor Johnson Records, who would like to tell you about the new album, Another One Again by Late Bloomer, which they're releasing on cassette March 1st, with the LP coming same day from Dead Broke and Self-Aware Records. Go to torjohnsonrecords.bandcamp.com to pre-order the cassette and stream 4 songs right now. Hello, and welcome to Everything Remade, a podcast that I hope is about growth as much as it is about music. I'm Edie Quinn, and we have a great show lined up for you today. Of course, before we start, I'd like to remind you that we have a Patreon page at patreon.com/humanmachine. You can go there and check out comics, music sneak peeks, and all kinds of stuff like that. Your support there really means a lot. And now, I'd like to play something for you. You're hearing Pore Over Me by Fern Sully, featuring my new pal Becca on guitar and vocals. The song comes from their new album Better Luck Next Time, which you can find at fernsully.bandcamp.com.
When I was in high school and I was introduced to Land of Talk, that was kind of a music awakening moment, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, now.
Yeah, I can't remember what the EP was called. Oh, it was like Cheer, Hiss, Applause, Boo, or something like that. And I had like a burned copy of it, and I just played that while I was driving to school, like every day.
Now how did you get introduced to that band specifically?
My high school boyfriend was really into like that kind of music. I was really into Attack in Black when I was in high school as well, like because of him. And so I would go to started going to local shows and stuff. And I was also like learning how to play guitar, and it was all just like kind of a fun new time.
Mm-hmm. For sure. So what made you decide that you wanted to pick up guitar, if it was like something that you had started before you like sort of found this like revelatory band? Like what was the initial a thing that made you say, hey, that's something I want to do?
Well, I always wanted to learn an instrument, like when I was younger. I mean, honestly, like before Land of Talk, you know, probably like Avril Lavigne and Green Day was like when I started listening to like punkier stuff. And when I was 13, I got a drum kit for Christmas. And my sister got a guitar that year, so we just played Green Day covers over and over in the basement. And then she kind of like fell off the guitar a little bit. I started to become interested in it. I had some friends who played guitar, so one of my best friends in high school would like teach me in the hallways during lunch hour. And that was during my like emo kid days.
Yeah. Oh, they're past you now, huh? They're long gone.
Oh, no.
No, I'm just playing.
They live within me forever.
Oh, for sure. So I want to back up to, you know, like you got a drum kit first. So
yeah.
I had asked like what initially drew you to guitar. And so we're going backwards with these questions, but we're going to get through all of them. So like drums was the first thing that you wanted to do. What was that? Like, were you drawn to that first because of like its sort of visceral nature, or?
Yeah, I think so. And yeah, again, at the time I was super into Green Day, and I'm like, whoa, Trey Cool is awesome.
It's in the name, right?
Sorry?
It's in the name. It's all right there.
Yeah, like, exactly.
Yeah.
uh, but yeah, also I like over the years because I like relearned how to play drums a handful of years ago, but I realized that there's a lot of similarities between drumming and fencing, which is what I did as a sport growing up.
Okay.
So I feel like that kind of also ties into the like wanting to hit something as an instrument.
Okay. Oh, can you elaborate on the through line there, like the similarities that you were experiencing?
Like, you know, like the way you hold a drumstick, the way that you use like smaller kind of wrist movements, like overarching like elbow swings and stuff like that. You know, the fact that your feet are doing different things than your arms are doing, etc.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
I never would have thought of that. And I helped write an album that is like fencing related, like in theme. Like so
Oh my gosh,
uh,
that's so funny.
I've never fenced, but like it was, yeah, I don't know. Like the person that I wrote the album with was like, what if we did this? And like all the terms are fencing terms, and
That's so funny.
yeah, and yeah, I never considered that. But it makes a lot of sense now. Yeah, and I suppose like the delicate sort of nature of the your midsection, right? You how you're
Yeah.
not directly functioning with it necessarily, but it like you have to be very stable to
Yeah.
to
Got to
perform the
engage
other.
that core, you know?
Yeah, yeah, huh? Yeah, I'm gonna be thinking about that later, and I'm gonna not
Yeah, that
having.
was a puzzle piece I put together like
Yeah,
way later in my music life.
yeah. But first, when you first started playing drums, were you just like you said you learned to play later? But first, when you started playing, you were just going by ear, or did the kit come with a few
I would print
lessons?
off tabs
Okay.
from 911 tabs. And I would like lay like each different sheet on like a different like on a different drum and try to like go slowly and like read it while I was doing it. Well, it worked for me at the time.
Yeah, because you like yeah, I don't know. I like tabs for guitar. I'm like I can do that, but I don't. I'd never like heard of or seen tabs for drums. Not that it like sounds like, oh, of course it makes sense that there would be, right? But I can't
Yeah.
imagine. It's just like here's like the hats, and this is how that goes, and then
Yeah, it was like,
there's yeah.
well, at least the ones that I was printing out, it was like, you know, instead of like each string on the guitar, it's like each drum piece.
Mm-hmm.
And like it has like the beat like the 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and like where each piece fits into that. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
yeah, I think because I'm a fairly visual learner, so
yeah I just
that
learned by
that was helpful.
tapping on stuff and just like so that's probably a more like you know common, I guess, like just people just like they think they can play drums on their like dashboard of their car or something, and then like that was me. Like I could I thought like, oh yeah, this makes sense. Like it made sense in my head, and then eventually a drummer that I was playing with like was like basically like if you think you can do it, then come back here and do it. And I went that back there and did it a little bit, like, and I was as surprised as he was, but like but I played it cool, uh, I guess. Yeah, that's awesome that you eventually also went back to it. What was the like? Why did you want to go back to it specifically?
I just yeah, I was really missing it. In my bands at the time, I like, you know, in like practice breaks, I would always like go behind the drums and just mess around. I'm like, oh, I really, really miss this. Um, and I told a friend of mine that I was thinking of taking lessons again. And she was like, hey, well, if you learn how to play drums, I'll take bass lessons again and we can start a band where we're all learning our instruments together.
Hmm.
And then, so that's actually how Mel in Fern Sully learned how to play guitar, because they were a bass player in our first band, Camp Girls. And then, yeah, we were talking about this idea for this new baby band, and Mel was like, "Hey, I want to learn how to play guitar, so I'll do that."
Okay.
And
And
so then we ended up calling ourselves Baby Band because we were all learning new instruments, and we had another guitar player join who was like typically a drummer.
and are they the ones that do most of the like leads, or is that
Yeah, so yeah, Mel was doing kind of like both rhythm and lead in Baby Band, but in Fern Sully, they just do lead guitar. Because they used to do vocals in our past bands as well, but they wanted to just be able to focus on the guitar.
Oh,
And
okay. So it is
damn,
two.
their progress has been insane.
Yeah, when you said it was like the kind of the first thing, then I was like, wow, like what a shredder. But
I
like I mean,
know.
they still are, of course, but so it is two different things, like Baby Band and Fern Sully. It's not like we used to call ourselves this and now we call ourselves this.
No,
It's
totally separate.
okay,
Mel is
okay.
just kind of my constant band buddy for for like almost a decade now, I guess.
Oh, okay. Yeah, fair. When you find someone like that you just like click with, it's
Yeah.
you're like that's like your ace in the hole, or it's just like it's like your wing person, like you can't,
Yeah.
like you're not
Like,
nervous
we
about
work
doing.
together so well.
Yeah.
So
Well,
why not just keep doing that? And we're, best buds. We have fun.
yeah.
So it's great.
Which is I mean, that is the very first thing that enamored me to y'all's set at New Friends Fest. Like obviously, like every band that played was great. Everybody had great songs, and y'all's songs were great. And especially because like I just, it reminded me of a lot of stuff that I listened to in high school that I like. Really over the past like 2 or 3 years, I really just started digging all of this stuff back out, and but the first like the biggest thing that I was just like, this is just like friends that are having such a good time playing music together. And that was like, so, like, I obviously like play in screamo bands, and I love how cathartic that can be. But sometimes like that takes over and becomes its own thing,
Yeah.
right? And so it was just like super refreshing, and like it was like the other, I mentioned before that y'all were one of my two favorite sets, and the other of my favorite sets was like definitely the other thing. It was like, you know what I mean? So each one of
Yeah.
y'all
Yeah.
had this very special like thing that I didn't know that I like really needed that day, and it was awesome. Yeah. So thanks for
Aw.
that.
Oh
But
my gosh. Thank you.
yeah, I mean, like, even it's like, I don't know. I just think that's the like I haven't I haven't been able to start a band like that where it's like in a really long time, because I don't know. The other thing takes over, I guess, sometimes, like
Yeah.
your need to get something out, or like, you know. But I mean, that's not to say that what your songs are not that also, because you did explain about what some of y'all's songs were about and stuff, and
Hmm.
it was really deep, and so there was like this really cool sort of like crossroads of like it was a depth, and I don't know,
Yeah.
but yeah, anybody who wants to relive that, they can find that on Scoped Exposure and stuff now, so that's awesome.
Oh yeah, I that was so cool to see that video. But yeah, I
Unbelievable.
think a lot of the jokiness also, like I have absolutely terrible anxiety and stage fright, and it's so much easier to feel comfortable when it just like we just kind of feel like we're at band practice almost, you know?
Hmm.
And we kind of chat on stage like as if we're just hanging out and making jokes. And I think, you know, they know that that helps me feel more comfortable and like less like I want to throw up. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the Spider-Man thing too, right? It's you're goofing because it like eases the tension inside or whatever.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know. And yeah, I don't I never used to get nervous before we played, but then I don't know. The last you know, then like COVID happened, and
Yeah.
I wasn't like I didn't play for a long time, and then when I went back, like now it's like it's wild. Like the like I'm like it's like the level of like imposter syndrome and just like they're all gonna like laugh at you and hate you like are just
Yeah.
it's out of control. Like the last few shows, and it's like I don't know. Like that's why I don't want to stop. I want to go and keep going because
Yeah, yeah.
like once the boulder's rolling downhill, there's no stopping it, I guess. but but yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's good that like you have a way to sort of like deal with that at least, and and band members that are supportive and understanding.
Yeah, yeah, totally.
For sure.
And like I mean, I've definitely my like pre-show anxiety has totally improved, like especially with this band. Actually, it's kind of opposite to what you were describing, whereas like before the pandemic I was like, you know, my first band I like puked on stage a couple times purely out of nerves. I had to run to the bathroom to puke. I've puked after a set off the side of the stage.
Hmm.
And then I had a in my old band Nice Going, I had a bucket that I kept on stage that said Becca's anxiety puke bucket. And then Fern Sully's first show, which would have been my return after pandemic, I had my puke bucket and I accidentally left it at the Monarch. Uh, and I haven't needed it since, actually.
You just
And I haven't even felt like I had to puke. And it's kind of insane.
That's amazing. And it's very symbolic that you like left it and moved on from there.
And now that puke bucket is like in their little like green room corner and they put broken drumsticks in it and there's also a cactus. So it's like part of the venue now, which also feels very symbolic.
Yeah, that's perfect. It's I don't know. It's weird. Like with me, like I think I used to just like there was a time like in yeah, like I'm dating myself obviously, but there was a time like in the like early 2000s when I would get sick like that all the time, like before a show, after a
Mm-hmm.
show, during a show. But I don't I never I didn't feel like that was because of the show necessarily. It was just like I was just new to like panic attacks and stuff.
Oh
and
yeah, I mean that is a big yeah, that
yeah,
is a big part of it for me.
like and back then like we didn't there wasn't a lot of information either.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Didn't really talk about it a lot.
yeah, so it wasn't like there was no understanding in my brain like that this was a thing that was like gonna pass, or that this
Yeah.
was a thing that other people dealt with. It was just like you were like gonna die. like at any second right now. You're gonna
Oh my
die.
gosh.
And I didn't know why. It's just like when eventually I'm just like, oh, I have a hard time being around people, like a lot of people that I don't know, or and so it was like I didn't feel like it was because of the show, but now I feel like, oh my gosh, it's because of the show, and I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
That's just something else to, you know, work out or whatever. But like, you know, eventually I'll leave my puke bucket somewhere cool too. But but yeah, like so you've mentioned a couple of bands that you were playing in before, and like we just kind of went by that really quickly. But like, are there previous bands of yours where you recorded like material that you are like proud of and would like to refer people to like to check out and stuff?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
So my first band that was like first band with Mel as well. It was called Camp Girls.
Okay.
And there's an EP on Bandcamp. Um, and I'm super proud of that because it was like the first thing I'd ever really kind of put out like officially. That wasn't me just sending like private SoundCloud links to my friends.
Yeah.
um, and then uh, with Nice Going, um, that was like it was kind of just like a fun friendship band, but we all like had other bands as well. Um, but we made some like really, really, really fun music, and I am like super proud of the EP we put out in that band, just called "Cut Your Losses." And I also proud of that. I did the whole like design for the like tape sleeve thing, and I did a whole wraparound thing, and I did all the photography and all the art direction. So I'm super proud of that like physical tape as well.
Hmm.
And then of course Baby Band, because we all learned new instruments, and then like I had never recorded drums before. I had only like just started playing them again. And I still can't believe I did that.
Cause we're sad, gay and broke, and we're learning how to cope, laughing through our lack of hope. Yes, we're sad, gay and broke, and we're learning how to cope. La 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 la
Would Camp Girls be the first band that you were like playing shows and stuff for?
Yeah. First band ever, first band I played shows with, all of that.
And what was your first show like?
First show was at, oh, I was so nervous. It was at, so there's a bar in Toronto called Houndstooth, and they used to have a different, like an original smaller location, but it was called Sonic back in the day. And they had this like tiny, super hot, like attic-y upstairs space, and they would throw like DIY shows. And there was no mic stand, and my friend had to crouch in front of me and hold the microphone straight up in the air. And it was just like so ridiculous that I was like, I, I feel like I didn't have space to even be too nervous.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish that I could say that I had not had my own version of that, in one way, shape, or form. Definitely
Yeah.
the someone like standing next to me, with their arm reached out the whole time, and then like their arm going down like between the songs or whatever for a rest. Yeah, it's it's wild how often of somewhere you can show up where there is just unprepared for a show in one way or another. Um, but yeah, it's like I don't know. It's almost. I guess it's a rite of passage, right? Um, yeah, like what was this like while you were still in high school, or?
No, so I moved to Toronto when I was 18 for school. And like I was just like playing guitar like in my room just by myself for years and years. And I was way too shy to even sing in front of anybody. Um, and then I think in like 2014, I had seen Pony for the first time, and I was like, wait, it feels actually possible that I could have a band and play shows and do this cool stuff. Um, and then I was, I think I like posted a Facebook status and was just like, who wants to start a band? And then like I had a person who played drums was like, yeah, I'll do that. Let's start a band. And then we like friend of a friend got us a bassist, and then that person ended up leaving, and then Mel joined. So yeah, it wasn't until I was like 22 that I like started playing shows.
That's awesome. And I hadn't even heard of Pony until like my friend Seth and I did a like best albums of last year episode, and yeah, I don't know. They're amazing. Like
I love them.
yeah, I definitely was like, yes, this album could have come out when I was in high school, and like I would have been obsessed with it then, for
Oh,
sure.
that's exactly what Sam wanted too.
Yeah, yeah, and
Like
well,
sound wise, yeah.
mission
That's
accomplished.
like their goal.
Yeah. What was it about them specifically that was like you're like, hey, wait, yeah, this is like I could do this for sure. Was it like the way the songs were, or was it like did it have anything to do with the venue and like the accessibility to like the artist, or what
um,
factors were there?
well, I think I had never really seen like a smaller local band that wasn't all dudes in
Okay.
real life before, and
Mm-hmm.
they played music that was like the genre that I was into, and the kind of music that like I would like potentially want to play kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like enamored, and I was like, damn, like these people are like my age, they're like ripping it up like on up there, you know. I am so jealous and also in love.
Yeah. Did you have a sense that like maybe because like you had been playing like you say you moved to Toronto, and you'd been playing like sort of did you think you like missed a window of opportunity, or like you mentioned like that these people were your age, so like what was that?
Yeah, I don't think I feel like I missed out. Like I'm okay with the fact that it took me a little longer to feel comfortable. You know, it's just
Right.
part of who I am. But you know, I was still kind of like immersed in the scene before I started like playing in bands. Um, and where was I going with this?
Oh, that's fine.
No, I think it's more that like later, like years later, I'm like, damn, should I have started playing in bands earlier? Because people would be like, oh, my band in high school, and I'm like, damn, did I miss out? But you know, at those times, I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah. Yeah. No, yeah, I wasn't like I wasn't trying to say like, oh, you know, did you think, well, I'm too old to play in a band now or anything? Like, and but it's like sometimes I think that, people do think like if you wanted to do X, you should have started Z. You should have started then. You should
Yeah.
have started, and yeah, I don't know. I'm just like, I am just for absolutely like, I don't care if you're 12 or if you're 57, if you wanted to do the
Yeah.
thing, just start doing the thing, and I mean, there's obviously there's obstacles to overcome in either of those cases. Like it, well, to get people to take you seriously in either of those instances would be
Oh,
difficult,
that one
right?
has been a struggle.
You know, yeah, and it's, I mean, that's something else, but yeah, it is like there's a lot to be said about, like what you were saying when you're like, should I have like where like what could I have, I don't know, I guess accomplished or whatever had I done, because like there's stuff that I didn't start doing until a couple years ago or whatever, and I'm like, oh, everybody says it takes this long to get good at this, and it's, yeah, I don't know, like it's I
Well, I mean, there's like still a lot of stuff I know now, and I'm like, does it matter that I never took like formal guitar lessons or something like that? But like, also, I've always kind of enjoyed figuring out chords that sound good together and like not actually knowing what they are.
mm-hmm.
Like that, like I've been doing that since high school, and like I guess another reason I don't feel like I was missing out really by being in a band like later on, because like I was still writing songs the whole time, and like writing a song is like how I deal with and how I kind of process a certain issue in my life. So, I'm still doing that on the side, and that's like therapy for me in a way. And it didn't matter to me that other people weren't hearing it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's coming up a lot as well. Like, just because like I think it's so easy now to just throw anything you do onto a link and let people hear it, that like,
Yeah.
there's like a, you don't hear about people that are just playing music to just play music as much, where it's got to produce something. It's got to produce an EP. But I mean, I've I've got like songs about like Hellboy and stuff. So like that people won't ever hear, which is,
Oh yeah, I've got some silly songs.
it's like, it's funny like how many songs of mine people will hear, and people might be surprised by the fact that there's actually a lot of songs that people will never hear. But like, yeah, it's wild how many like how many turns your brain can do over something like an electric guitar. Like you can just sit there and play it just for just enjoyment. Like you can not even, like I sometimes when I'm playing, I'm not even like, I don't even know that I'm playing, right? Like you're just doing it,
Yeah.
and and then you can be like laser focused and ready to create something specific, and then like you can just like sit there and be like, I don't even like I'm looking at this thing and I don't even understand how, like, what the relationship between me and these wires and these, like this piece of wood and other people, like I don't understand any of this, like and it's I don't know, like that's the really cool thing about doing any of this is like just the, I don't know, profundity of it, I guess. But I didn't, it's a little early to be getting that into that kind of level of conversation. But yeah, it's like, I don't know, like it's like you could have looked at it in a way also that it's like, you were like, getting yourself ready for what you would eventually do as well, you know? That's one
Yeah.
way. It's like, you know, rehearsals, but just by yourself, you know?
Yeah.
So other than like Pony, like, and that being like a big, you know, like that's a moment because like you're there and it was sort of revelatory. Like, what was it about the songs that you were writing or that you were doing that made you really feel like it was time, like, to put out that, you know, notice on Facebook? Or like, was there more to that? Or
Well, I had some friends in the music scene who they would just like sometimes invite me to like come over to their house and just jam together. And I was like, oh, okay, this is really fun. This is really fun. And I have a bunch of songs and it's fun to play my songs with with other instruments. So I think it's time.
yeah, yeah, for sure. So like, as far as Fern Sully goes, like, the y'all started demoing for the album in 2021, but the album just came out last year. What was the process like from starting the band and getting like this group of songs together to where like it's like, okay, there was a demo, and then there was another demo, and then like here's the album?
Well, it started as just me dealing with the loneliness of lockdown after, that all started. And so I was just like really getting into like home recording stuff and just like messing around with mixing and trying to make full songs myself. So those first two demos I just made using like recording and mixing on iPad GarageBand because it's all I had at the time. And I think I fairly quickly knew that I wanted to like make it a full band. There was something about like these like newer songs I was writing. I felt like I've been like growing as a writer and like as a musician, and the pandemic kind of killed the two bands I was in at the time. So I'm like, okay, we need to do something here. Mel, Mel, you gonna do this with me?
Yeah, I mean, you probably knew that you could count on them. You were ready.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so you kind of had these two songs and you just floated them like, hey, people that are interested in doing this specifically? Or how did the other two folks come into the band?
I just messaged them and asked them if they wanted to be in the band.
Oh, okay,
So I'd known them from other bands. We were already friends. So yeah. Thankfully, they were both super down.
As easy as that. Yeah. What about, like, you mentioned that you were just like doing like home recording and everything. Were there demos? Like, did you demo out the whole album before you?
Let's see. I think I maybe only had 4 of the songs that are on the EP done at that time. Yeah, and then 2 of them I kind of wrote after we were together as like full band and like practicing, and then I was continuing to write music.
Yeah. And how did you end up hooking up with the people that recorded the album?
So Trevor is Hannah's partner.
Okay.
And he like does a lot of like sound engineering, like for live stuff, and he does a lot of recording and mixing and general production, and so he's been trying to like build up his portfolio. And he's also just a goofy sweetie. And so we knew it would be a good time.
Yeah, for sure. It definitely sounds like you went and spent a lot of money on something, but hopefully that wasn't the case. But
The medium bucks.
the what?
The medium bucks.
The medium bucks. Well, that's fair. Um, was there any a point where you were like, I could do this myself, or were you just you were only interested in recording like in the beginning because of all the restrictions and things like that?
Mm, I mean, I'm sure I could do it myself, but I trust people who that's what they do professionally.
Yeah.
I still love to do this stuff on my own. It's like really fun, and I'm in like a songwriting monthly club with some friends too. So I still do all that stuff myself, but I'm also not professional at it by any means.
Yeah, yeah. What's the
Like I can teach people how to use GarageBand really effectively.
Yeah, yeah. What's the songwriting club like? Is that you just hook up with random people like on one song a month or?
So it was, oh my gosh, I feel like it was started like 7 or so years ago by my friend Kurt Marble and Maddie from Pore. And their roommate, I think they like started this song a month club, and it's just kind of grown and become like other like friends of friends. And it's like a fairly, I feel like we've got like 10 to 20 songs to listen to every meeting. But so how it works is one person chooses a theme, and then we have the next month to write and record our song interpreting the theme how we please. And then we all get together, have some snacks and drinks, and some people will like Zoom into the meeting, and we just listen to all our songs and talk about it all together, talk about our process and all that. And it's it's really, really nice night. Really nice time.
Oh, okay. So everyone writes their own song.
Yeah, yeah. And
Oh, okay.
sometimes people like within the club will like collaborate on a song together.
Sure, sure. And what do you mean by theme? Like lyrical theme, or do they set parameters as far as like styles or?
It's usually just like a word or a sentence or something like that, and we can literally just take that as in any direction we want to.
I always have hope it sucks. I always have hope it sucks so much. Even when I want to die, I can still see some light. Just hurts more to feel alive.
And how do you feel like this is? Do you use this as a way to sort of stretch your legs in a way that you don't in Fern Sully? Do you try like?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. I try to like experiment with like different styles here and there, or like different kind of ways of mixing stuff, or like just to see what I can do and what different stuff I can come up with. So I do really, really enjoy Song Club for like giving me kind of a purpose and like an opportunity to experiment in different ways than I play with the band.
Yeah. Is this something that people hear at some point, like, or is it just within the club?
It's just within the club, and if we share it with other friends, but also like because we're all musicians, a lot of us will end up using some of our Song Club songs for our actual projects. Like I think way back, I think that was initially a song for Song Club.
Oh, awesome.
And then I was like, hey, I should write more like this.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Have you ever done anything that like, have you ever tried anything like style wise that you? I mean, you're glad you tried it, but you're like that didn't work.
Hmm. I'm not sure if I've had like that kind of thought exactly. Maybe not like, oh, this didn't work, but maybe like, how could I do this better?
Yeah, that's more what I was
This
getting
was
at. I
my
wasn't.
first attempt.
Yeah,
Maybe it didn't turn out as I'd hoped this time, but what can I fix to make it
yeah.
get there?
I wasn't trying to get you to like post your L's or anything. Like
Oh, no, no,
it's more
no.
just like I was just like, what I was fishing for like a story like, well, I tried to write a death metal song and I don't know what I was expecting to happen there, but like as this, sometimes you never know until you ask.
One day I will.
Yeah, yeah, awesome. Now, when you do that, do you generally program the drums, or do you get behind a kit and you hammer stuff out?
Well, at one point I had a roommate who had a drum kit, so I would just like record the drums with like a single microphone.
Yeah,
And but now, yeah, I just program them.
yeah. When you have one mic, what would you do with that mic? Clear out in the middle of the room or behind the kit, or
Oh, what did I do with it? It was also like a ridiculously tiny room.
so it kind of maybe didn't matter, huh?
Yeah, I feel like it was like, oh my gosh, I'm trying to picture it. I feel like it was kind like a little overhead,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but I can't remember exactly. It was such a small room. How did I do that?
Yeah. My 2 cents, and it's not, I have no basis for whether this is a good idea or not. I've just done a couple things, but my 2 cents is if there's one mic, it goes directly behind you, behind the kit, like where you're sitting. And
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
See, there wasn't any room for that.
I've I've had really good, like I've done, like I do a cover song compilation every Halloween, and
Oh, that's fun.
I've just like, well, not enough people submitted cover songs. I guess I'm doing a couple more under different project names. So just throw one microphone behind the drum kit and play a Peg Boy song, and yeah, I don't know. Like if you have to
Okay,
get it
well,
done
good to
fast,
know.
just do that. But yeah, I mean, if you are ever in the market to do a cover song and have it released on Halloween, I would love to have you join us on one of the compilations. But
Oh, that would be awesome.
yeah, I mean, as a matter of fact, anybody listening, like hit me up because it always seems like it's like, wouldn't that be fun to just record a Halloween like a cover song and have it released on Halloween with a bunch of other people just having fun and releasing cover songs? That just sounds like such an easy thing to do, right? To get songs like that.
Yeah.
And it's always pulling teeth. Like it's
Oh
always
my
like
gosh.
and like this episode will air in February and people will be like, "Hell yeah, I want to be a part of that." And then when October runs around, like I'm going to have 5 songs. It just never fails. But I mean that's time, right? It gets away from us.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, as far as like the album goes, like I mean, I just listened to it again today. Like it's incredible. I love it.
Thank you.
Are there plans for? You mentioned making tapes for your bands before. Like, did y'all do tapes or anything like that for this album?
We do have tapes.
Okay.
Yes, we do have tapes.
Okay, I must have missed that part. And were there like any other plans for the album, like other than tapes, or was it just like that's where you landed and like maybe something else for the next one?
Yeah, I think just the tapes and like digital for this guy. I think we're hoping to we're going to start talking about like recording another album soon, and it'll probably be more songs, so I'd like to like wait and like do more with like a future one.
Yeah, like do the whole like getting ahead of the release and talking to people in to get like some premieres or something, stuff like that, right?
Yeah, I want to
yeah.
take some like bigger steps with whatever we do next, you know.
Right. Are you already writing the songs for that, or is that just like, okay, like that's what we're gonna do next?
Yeah, it's more like that's what we're going to do next because I keep writing songs like faster than we have time to get together and like work them out as a band. So I've got like a list of like 9 songs that are potentials, and then I keep writing more. So we'll see.
Now, are you the type that like, do you have like a recency bias for your material, or is it, do you just hold them all sort of equally until everyone's played through it a bit and you see how it feels?
Sorry, do I have a what bias?
Like a recency bias, like that can be.
Oh, like I like the one that I just wrote the
Yeah,
most.
yeah, because sometimes I don't know the difference. Like I have like my
Yeah,
favorite album, but then every time that we write a new album, I'm like, that's probably the best one we've ever done. Like, even though
I
it's
feel
like,
like I do have that issue. I
yeah,
like the last 2 I wrote, they're also like so different from each other, but I'm just like, you guys, these are some of the best songs I've ever written. These are going to be a hit.
I
You
think
guys, we got to do this. And they're
yeah,
like, okay, but what about all the other ones?
yeah, yeah, yeah. We've heard that before. Let's hear them all. Like, yeah, yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It's really weird, isn't it? Because it's like you. I always find that there are all these stages like that that material can go through where it's like you're playing it and it's fresh to you and it's exciting, and then you've refined it a little bit or whatever, and so that that freshness takes a back seat to like the sort of like finishedness of it, you know, and now it's like
Yeah.
established as this certain thing. And so when that fresh song comes up again, or that fresh whatever, the those couple of things that you did that like, you know, open like that squeeze a lemon or whatever, you know, where you're just like, oh,
Yeah.
then it can be easy to sort of be like, oh yeah, this is like, let's just like, yeah, we'll get to those, but like let's work on these now, you know, or whatever. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's, I don't know. I mean, I guess that's just like the thing about like, you don't know, like anytime you get behind a drum kit or a guitar or whatever, you don't know what's going to come out, and it's like that inspiration, you know, like you got to find that balance between like, you know, just being so excited because it's new or whatever, and like actually just giving your other ideas a chance, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, that's awesome. Like it sounds like you pretty much already, like, yeah, you have the material, and it's just like, okay, we just like need, you know, to take the time and
Yeah.
go through these and see what's what, and then, you know, start talking about all the other stuff at that point. But like you know, would you consider the release the previous release an EP then?
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
I play in screamo bands, so I don't know what is what. Like
I mean,
like
yeah, I feel like everybody's like rules and standards of it are
yeah,
different. So I'm just like, I
yeah,
guess this is an EP. And
yeah, because it's it was it 6 or 7 songs. Like I
that makes
no, you're what it's called, Better Luck Next Time, right?
6 songs.
Yeah, and like I when I was re-listening today, I was just like, it was headphones, and it was I'm cutting, I was putting a release together, so I'm like cutting paper and gluing paper. I got a hot glue gun out. I'm doing all this stuff,
Hmm.
and I'm like hot glue gun, like all like peeling it off of my headphone cord, because like I don't even have like earbuds. I,
No.
I have like I have like the corded, so I'm like, you know, but yeah, it was really, it was like I was like really like, okay, yeah, this is, because when you like, I don't know, like that's like my thing, where it's just like when you're doing all this stuff that's like, it's kind of mundane, because you're almost in an assembly line, but then you just like, you got music, and you're just like, okay.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, I'm making a mess. I got stuff everywhere. But but yeah, it's like, yeah, it's like your 6 songs would be 13 of my band songs, So like, I don't know what
Right.
people, call, like, it's like, is that an EP? Is it an LP? I don't know. But like, yeah, I hope people check that out, and I hope that you sell all your tapes and everything. And I'm
Thank
excited
you.
to see what y'all do next. You said that the new songs felt different. Like, do you feel like you're exploring something like sonically that you didn't on the EP?
Um. Well, I guess I meant that those two were different from each other,
Oh,
but
okay.
I was like very equally excited about them. But I feel like I am kind of trying out new things and like branching off in multiple kinds of directions with like the way that I even just like structure my songs or anything. Like they, yeah, I think a lot of the newer songs I'm writing feel more like matured, but also dynamic.
Okay.
But I think it's just me figuring out myself and my instrument, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you like, sometimes you're taking in influence and stuff, and you don't, like, you don't know how to make that influence like your own thing or whatever. So
Yeah, yeah.
of course, like, the more time you have with whatever you're doing, then like that turns that into like, that language becomes clearer to you, and how to use it and express yourself with it. I told you we would get pretentious eventually, and we got there. Um, but yeah, I mean, I'm real excited to see what comes next for y'all. Do you have shows booked and stuff that you want to put out there, or have you just been
So
sort
we
of?
don't have anything. We don't have anything booked at the moment. So Hannah has recently had to leave the band, unfortunately. Um, they're dealing with like a lot of chronic pain and just like way too overwhelmed and overbooked. And obviously the band where they play an instrument that hurts them, that's going to be the one that has to go. We
Yeah,
don't want
that's the drummer,
anyone.
correct?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. We
So.
like, and I have carpal tunnel in both my arms, so I can't really drum much anymore either. So I'm like, no, you got to take care of yourself.
Mhm.
So we love Hammy. We're sad to see them go, but they have their own band. Uh, Funnily enough, named Sullen,
Okay.
and then they also play bass in Sunsetter.
Oh, okay.
So they're still in those two projects, and they're both wonderful. Everybody should check out Sullen and Sunsetter. But yeah, so we're currently looking for a new drummer. Got some like trial jams coming up soon, and then we're gonna discuss album recording and discuss shows and all that.
That's awesome.
One step at a time.
Yeah, yeah. I live a little bit too far. I can't do it.
Dang.
Yeah, it would have been a dream come true for me too. Not that it would have been a dream come true for you. Just that's all I was just saying, it would have been great for me. Yeah, when we played that show, we left my house, and from the time that we got up and left my house until the time we got back, because we had to come back the same day, we were awake for 32 hours.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, Toronto's like a 8+ hour drive from my house, so that was something.
Whereabouts are you?
I live in Lafayette, Indiana,
Okay.
so not even like just like the next state on the border or anything, just like couple states away, and
Okay. Gotcha.
little bit of a
Gotcha.
drive. But at the same time, like I'd do it again tomorrow if
Hell yeah.
like
Well, whenever you're in Toronto next.
yeah, for sure. So you said you have this isn't like a call for auditions then. Like this is like you have people that you're
Yeah, we just been
yeah,
asking around,
yeah,
asking friends and friends of friends.
for sure.
And yeah, we're lucky that there's a couple people who want to give it a go,
Yeah, awesome. Well, best of luck for that.
Thank you.
So like the last thing that I was gonna ask about, I should have asked about this earlier, but it's just the way that goes sometimes. What specifically landed you on the name Fern Sully? Like
Oh man,
we
yeah, I get
understand.
this question all the time,
Yeah,
and
I
it's
mean
like
you understand why
it's
though,
not
right?
actually as deep as everyone probably assumes.
Yeah.
So I had this like huge list in my notes app of just like all these ideas. I was kind of thinking like I'm like I feel like it would be cool to have something like planty in the name, and I'm like trying to think of things that feel fairly like gender neutral because I'm just like yeah, we're having like a really hard time with gender stuff at that time, and I'm like I don't want it to like have connotations any way at all, but like in so I was just like listing different kinds of plants that I felt were cool, and then like any associations or words that came up, and then I'm like, oh, I wonder what words rhyme with gully. Fern something could be cool, and then yeah, that's I'm like this feels fitting.
Okay.
It was like the only like name potential word that felt okay gender wise for me. And then so Hannah had already had their project. They were just doing the same kind of thing as me and just writing their own demos, but they already had their name Sullen, and I was like, hey, so I've been going through this song or this band naming process. This is the only one that feels good. Is it okay if I use a similar word? And they're like, oh yeah, totally. Also, do you need a drummer?
That's awesome.
So yeah, it is. I mean, obviously, I did see Fern Gully when I was a kid and was into all those like animated movies. But it truly is not as deep in that sense as people think it is.
Right. It's more like several coincidences than
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a streamlined thought process. Yeah.
And I happen to be a 90s kid, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that works. Like the closest I've come is I have several projects that have coincidentally named songs the same thing. Like I like but it's just because it's just like a word even but like I'm in two projects that have songs called named tethered, which that's not a very common word, so I think that's kind of peculiar. But then like I'm like I wrote a song called Shattered in like 2018, and then like I'm in this other project and someone named one of the songs Shatter, and I'm like, okay, but yeah, I don't know. That's as close as I come. I've yet to be in two bands that have name similarities, but it'll eventually happen.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty funny that they're like, at one point their Instagram was like Fern Sully, Sullen, Sunsetter.
Yeah, like yeah, that's cool if you name it that, but I'm getting in on it. That's all. That was the
Yeah.
caveat. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, so yeah, I'm very grateful that they
yeah,
were able to play with us for so long.
for sure. And like I said, it looked like y'all had like an amazing time, at least while it lasted, and that's like
Yeah.
that counts for a whole lot, I know.
definitely.
Like, that's all I really like do is, just try to just have a random conversation, and I sure had fun. But is there anything else that we should chat about before we take off, or do you just want to let people know where to find you and how to get in touch if they want to?
Yeah. So I guess, follow us on Instagram. It's just at Fern Sully. We're on all the old streamers.
Mm-hmm.
Get on the streamers and check out Fern Sully.
Awesome. And that was my conversation with Becca Howes of Fern Sully. Thank you so much, Becca, for taking the time to chat with me. Thanks to all of y'all for listening wherever you are as well. I want to give a special shout out to Scoped Exposure and Newhouse Studios for the work that they've been doing in archiving the footage from New Friends Fest. Go to YouTube and find the Scoped Exposure page, and you can watch all the sets that they've uploaded with pristine audio mixed by Newhouse Studios. Thank you both so much for doing that important work. Until next time, take care and do good things.